Hey guys, welcome back. The smoked aubergine mash is a firm family favorite in the Bhatia household. It's a very simple recipe with few ingredients and very less spice powders. The aubergine is mashed, but the smoking takes this dish to an entirely different level. I'm going to teach you a trick of how after roasting the aubergines you can impart the smoky flavor with the use of charcoal. And one thing I've observed is that the smoky aroma and the flavors of the aubergine comes out most distinct in this simple recipe when you actually use very less spice powders. So let's get cooking. We first start off the cooking by roasting our aubergines. I've taken the large Dutch aubergines or the big aubergines, and they've been washed and they've been wiped dry. And these go into a preheated oven at approximately 180 degrees centigrade or 350 degrees Fahrenheit for approximately 30 to 35 minutes till they become soft. Now the best is to just check them to see from the once they are cooked if they are soft or not. If not, you can always put them back in the oven and cook them for a further 5 or 10 minutes till they're perfectly done. Let them cool very slightly for 4 to 5 minutes, and then with the sharp tip of a knife open up the aubergines. Let the steam come off, and you will see that the flesh is nice and moist. Now this is a very simple trick of to take out the flesh is to use a spoon. So with the tip of the spoon, just press it against the flesh and against the skin, and you will see that the flesh just gently oozes out. So now it avoids all the process of peeling the aubergine and then passing it on to a different plate or to a bowl to keep. Just slit them into half, and with the spoon gently spoon out the lovely fresh meat. Now these have been roasted in the oven, so they have a slight roasted flavor to it. They are cooked through. As you can see, they're nice and soft. Put it onto a plate. They will ooze out a little water, which is perfectly okay. Now to make the smoking technique, you make a small well in the center of the aubergines, and you take a tin foil or aluminum foil and you shape it into a cup. Literally fold the sides together to make sure you form a shape which resembles a little bowl or a small little cup. Now this will hold the charcoal. So put it all together. So there you go. You tuck the sides in, and the foil is now ready. Goes in the center, and in this you put a live red charcoal which has been heated up into a barbecue, or you heat it up onto your gas flame and make it nice red and hot. Put them in the center. A little drizzle of oil. You can also use butter. As soon as it begins to smoke, the oil reacts with the charcoal and begins to smoke. You cover it with a cloche. I'm using a cake tin cloche. You can use any cloche if you like, but leave it covered for a good 15 to 20 minutes for the aubergine to absorb all the smoky flavor of the charcoal. You can add spices in the charcoal. It's perfectly okay. To make the smoked aubergine mash, we need to first cut some vegetables. I've got 2 cloves of garlic which I've finely sliced and then finely chopped. You want it to be all the vegetables to be actually very finely chopped. I'm using a large fat green chilli, but just half of it, so don't get scared. I'm not using all of it, just the half of the fat green chilli. What I also like to do is to take out the seeds from this. The seeds are not really white, they're more blackish, and that will not look nice into the dish. So take out the seeds, slice up the green chilli into long strips, and then chop them into fine pieces. You need to ensure that all the vegetables are cut very fine and evenly. You don't want large chunks of vegetables to go inside the aubergine. You want it to be nice, like a paste, like a mash kind of a texture eventually. So keep it slightly on a finer side. Moving on to the red onions. I just love to use red onions. I prefer these over the white onions because they have a very nice color, they have a very nice flavor, they also hold shape well. And it's just because the white onions have a lot of moisture in them, and when you cook them they don't really hold texture quite well. So if you're doing a long stew where you want to make a paste, it's fine, but if you want to have a texture into your dish, the red onions work the best. I'm using 2 red onions of a small size. They are going to be cooked, so you will see once I find them in the dish, you won't really see so much onion. 1 large ripe tomato. Now again, I like to use it with the seeds on because I think they've got good flavor in it. I also like to keep the moisture of the tomatoes intact because once you cook the aubergines, it will all dry out. So chop up the tomato into small pieces and put them into a bowl. So our vegetables are done. We've got our garlic chopped, we've got our fat green chili chopped, the red onions chopped, and the tomato chops. The aubergines have been smoked and they have been peeled and smoked, so lying ready. Now to cook the dish, it's a very simple dish. It uses very few spices in it. Absolutely no whole spice. It is just oil into a saute pan. Warm up the oil and add in your chopped red onion. Now this is going to be cooked onto a medium heat till the onions become soft in color. I will not discolor it a lot, just make sure that it is slightly soft and turns pink. Then goes in the chopped garlic. So classically when you make Indian dishes at home, we first add the oil and we add the spice and we add the garlic and then the onions. But in this case, I'm not using any whole spice at all. It is just oil, chopped onion and some garlic. And because I want the garlic to retain this flavor and this shape, I don't add it first into the oil. I add it after I cook the onions. Then goes in the green chili. Now again, if you like it spicy, you can always add more green chili. It's a personal preference of what you like. If you don't like green chili at all, you can totally skip it. Once the onions are sweated down, we add our spice powders. We're going to add coriander powder. It gives a very nice rustic feel to the dish. It gives a very nice flavor, a very earthy flavor. Red chili powder. You can use smoked paprika powder. You can use cayenne pepper. Perfectly okay. That will also work well. Then add in the tomatoes and onto a medium heat. Stir the mixture together till the onions and the tomatoes really cook down and become more like a confit or become more like a jam consistency. It becomes like a masala in some way. All the goodness and the flavors of the coriander, the red chili powder, and the vegetables are all intact. Then goes in our aubergine, the smoked aubergine. Now I have not chopped them up. You don't need to chop them up because once they go into the pan, they are going to cook in the pan with the spices and with the onions, and they will become into a mash. It will break down all together and become pasty. Salt, seasoning is very important, and then you lightly fold in the aubergine and the onion and tomato mixture. And as you keep folding them in the heat, you will notice that the aubergine begins to break down and becomes into a paste. And what you would eventually get is a wonderful, smoky, rich aubergine flavors, which has a very nice flavor of spices, but also the very nice flavor of the charcoal smoke, which gives a very rustic feel to the dish. Don't need to cook it for too long. Once the mixture is ready, check the seasoning and put it on to a bowl to serve. It is such a simple, delicious dish. Garnish it very simply with some chopped coriander or cilantro. And because it's a very tiny quantity of portion, I just literally snip in the coriander leaves with a scissor. A simple trick always comes handy. So there you have it, my smoked aubergine mash, classically in India also known as bengan ka bharta. It's something which our family loves to eat. Absolutely flavorful and delicious. The best way for me to enjoy this is with some crisp piece of bread, and I just love a nice warm toast. So here you have it, my smoked aubergine mash. Bon appetit, happy cooking, enjoy, and make sure you leave your comments on the section below.